Welcome, everyone, to the Fandom Podcast Network special presentation of Time Warp 1996, March, Movies and Pop Culture. In this episode of Time Warp, we're going to cover a year of pop culture, which includes movies, TV, music, and notable news of the events of 1996. 1996 movies and pop culture, as of this recording, are all celebrating their 30th anniversary. Welcome to Time Warp 1996. And we will be covering the month of March. My name is Kevin. I'll be one of your hosts here. And also here, this is Time Warp on the Fandom Podcast Network. So make sure you check out all of our other shows on the network as well. And also, if you are watching the video, hit the QR code that we're showing right there. That'll take you to all the audio podcasts on our website that include all the other shows, including Time Warp. My name is Kevin. I'd like to welcome, of course, my Time Warp crew. With me, as always, is my co-founder of the Fandom Podcast Network, Mr. Kyle Wagner. Welcome, sir.
Kevin, I made the executive decision to escape the Birdcage and go to Fargo, but I found it was too cold, so I downed my Periscope and raced the sun to warmer climates for this podcast.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. By the way, I just wanted to give you a shout out to my buddy Mike Simmer. He did something similar on our hair metal podcast, Kyle. And I gave a shout out to you for that little gag that you do there. I love that. Keep it going. Well, Kyle, we're not done yet. We can't go any further until we bring on the queen of movie food. And that is the lovely Lacey Adderhold. Welcome, Lacey.
Hello. I am staying in. I'm staying up close and personal with the man of the year, Sergeant Bilko.
Well,
nice.
Kevin, I'm just happy because it doesn't look like she shrunk herself.
I'm flirting with disaster because if Lucy fell in Fargo, might be some sabotage in the Birdcage. I'm just saying.
It's getting out of hand now. Come on, guys. I'm going to claim copyright infringement.
So we are discussing 1996 here, the movies of 1996, and we're also going to be discussing the television shows of 1996. And we got a lot of fun stuff going on. But what's playing now on the Fandom Podcast Network and Time Warp? First of all, we did a Buffy retrospective. Make sure you check that out. Our favorite NFL Raider players who acted in movies and TV. And we also did the year of 1984. That was a banger year for a lot of good classic movies. Make sure you go back and check that out. And of course, we are in 1996 now, but we started last year. We did the movies of 1990 because they were all celebrating their 30th anniversary. We had a lot of good stuff. A lot of 80s carryovers. They were filmed in the late 80s and they came out in the 90s. And so we asked the big question, did it still feel like an 80s film or was it a 90s film? Coming soon, of course, is this year of 1996. We are already a couple of months in, so make sure you check out those podcasts, January, February, and we are now currently discussing March. We've got some interesting ones to talk about here in March of 1996. But first, let's take a step back into time, into 1996. Let's fuel up that DeLorean with a flux capacitor. Slingshot around the sun aboard that captured Klingon bird of prey, and take a step in that blue police box or phone booth and step into that quantum leap accelerator. Or I like to do is take a dip in that hot tub time machine and travel back to 1990. We're going to remind you what was happening in pop culture, sports, politics, television, and of course, the movies of 1996. All right, where were you guys in 1996? There's a lot to get into. Let's get into some entertainment news here, guys. So I'm not surprised by this little bit here. So in 1996, more than 1 billion households worldwide now own television sets. The 1990s introduced high-definition HD television and flat-screen displays, LCD, LED, and plasma screens. In 1996, the average American household had approximately 2 to 2.5 working television sets. I was living by myself. I had still a tube television because it was small enough to fit in my small little room apartment. I do remember plasma screens being a thing. In 1996, guys, what type of TV did you have, Lacey?
In 96, I didn't have my own TV. I think I had just gotten out of college and I'd gone back to, I think I was back at my parents' house before I, figured out what I was going to do. So yeah, I don't know that I didn't have one in my room.
Okay. What about you, Kyle?
My parents, I was staying with them at the time,
Mhm.
they had a 42-inch tube television, which I think was the largest tube television you could get at that point.
That thing must have been enormous.
And heavy as hell.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, we had a lot of TVs. Present time, the average U.S. household has around 2.3 to 2.9 televisions. And this was, of course, it says the data shows, though, that there's a slight decline in 2024. The number of TVs per household has slightly decreased from peaks, partly due to the rise of streaming capable devices like laptops, tablets, and smartphones.
Yeah,
Now,
I would say probably if you average those in, the average household has probably about 6 to 8 devices you can watch television on.
Yeah.
And I would like to see the stats just for like late 2020, early 2021 when the stimulus checks came out, because like everyone on the planet bought a TV that year.
Yeah, I'm sure Best Buy was doing quite well.
Yeah. I mean, the number of TVs sold was crazy. Yeah.
Speaking of TV, you had to watch this on your TV. 1996, Dish Network, a direct broadcast satellite service, begins as a service of EchoStar. I remember when Dish started popping up everywhere, guys. Look at that. Switch to Dish Network. Pick your package, pick your price. Everyone had to put those dishes on the outside of their houses, and they're still a thing. Not as much as they used to be. Of course, that's when they had packages like HBO and Cinemax and Showtime and Stars, and that's when they were starting
And
to
it was
club things together.
all good, and it was all good until it rained.
And also, there were like this became a point of contention in every HOA in the country, because apartment complexes wouldn't allow them. A lot of places you'd have to have it on the back of your house. If you couldn't fit it somewhere on the back of your house, you weren't allowed to have it if you were in a neighborhood that had an HOA.
Yeah.
Lots of fights.
Definitely. Yeah.
But the bigger question going back to the 80s is, did any of you have friends who had the huge ass satellite dish like in their backyard that took up like their whole backyard?
Yeah.
I knew a guy. Yeah, I knew a guy. All right, guys, the next thing here is Bob Ross. The Joy of Painting host Bob Ross makes his final television appearance as a guest in a pilot episode of the children's series, The Adventures of Elmer and Friends. Premiering over a year after his death, the episode includes a final message of thanks from Ross to his fans and viewers and a musical tribute. Rest in peace, Rob.
Have you seen that The Joy of Painting is back?
No, and I just said Rob. I realized I meant to say Bob. So no, who is hosting that now? David
Arquette, and it's adorable.
Oh, wow, very cool.
Yeah, he does like contests and stuff, and has kids come and join him, and like it's more like this than it is it's not one man standing there talking about pretty little trees. Gotcha. Or friendly little trees or whatever, or happy accidents. It's him and and a couple of kids and stuff. It's really cute.
Cool. All right, next. This is for Kyle here. WrestleMania 12, I think. X11 from the Arrowhead Pond in Anaheim, California, is broadcast on a pay-per-view. In the main event, Shawn Michaels defeats Bret Hart in a 60-minute Iron Man match to win the WWF Championship for the first time.
I'm just going to throw this out there. Two things. First of all, it was more than 60 minutes because the match had to go into overtime. Two, this is actually one of the biggest rivalries in wrestling history, and it really started with this match. And for a long time, these two men truly hated each other. And if you are ever interested in wrestling or even little things like this, if you really want to know how bad the hate and the rivalry was in this, go on your computer and just look up the Montreal Screwjob, and you will there was actually a whole documentary following Bret Hart about it. And
I'm sorry, the Montreal Screwjob?
Yes.
Okay.
It's actually I think it's called Wrestling with Shadows. It's a documentary about Bret Hart, and they cover it. It's actually a pretty fascinating behind the curtain look of some things, but it's one of the more infamous moments in wrestling history.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, next we've got some more time warpy stuff going on. Let's get into some toys and tech. All right, guys. If you had to guess one of the biggest toy frenzies of all time, collectibles, inflated prices, limited collectibles, you would have to say Beanie Babies. Ty's line of beanbag plush animals that became a highly collectible due to their retirement strategy. Beanie Babies are a line of stuffed toys created by American businessman Ty Warner, who founded Ty Inc. in 1986. The toys are stuffed with plastic pellet beans rather than the conventional soft stuffing and come in many different forms, mostly animals. Beanie Babies emerged as a major fad and collectible during the second half of the 1990s. In 1996, they released Teeny Beanies, a line of miniature Beanie Babies. They were sold alongside McDonald's Happy Meals to celebrate the Happy Meals 17th anniversary. They also partnered with other companies. Who had a Beanie Baby? Raise your hand.
A friend
That's
of
all
my
three of us, by the way, for those listening.
A friend of my mother's was so convinced that they were going to become like the most valuable objects on the planet.
She wasn't the only one.
She would go to these conventions. She would drive, like on the day that certain ones were released, she would drive hundreds of miles to go pick up the unique ones or whatever. And she would buy the max every time. She would buy like 5 or 8 or however many they'd let you have. She had bundles of them. I mean, bundles of them.
It was crazy. I knew people that were fanatics about this.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, they would go to conventions. They would travel. It was crazy. So, yeah.
Hold on.
All right. Who's hungry here? Oh, yeah. Kyle, did you want to say something about Beanie Babies?
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, I think the other thing is two things have taken the place of Beanie Babies is that craze. Oh, look
what you got there, Lacey?
This is the Beanie Babies official club.
Oh, wow.
Pack that, that friend I was talking about, the friend of my mother's.
So you're holding like a lunchbox type bag that has a see-through front and has the tie, and you couldn't take off the tie tag. You had to leave it on the Beanie Baby to have its value and authenticity. And then you have a Beanie Baby inside there. What is that exactly?
Yes. So there is this is the Platinum Membership Beanie Babies Official Club Platinum Edition Certificate, hereby presented to you. You were supposed to fill out all the information. Yeah. It's got like a collectible coin and a card for like your wallet. And cool. It's tied, like it's used. It's got the 2 zippers.
Yeah.
It's still sealed.
Still sealed.
My mom's friend gave this to all of us. Like everybody got one, and I couldn't tell you. It's just been in a box, and I've been unpacking all my stuff.
And it's one of those things where, like I said, those little heart-shaped tie things. You could not.
The tags.
You had to keep the tags on there to make sure that it was tradable and resellable if you want to try to get the most out of it. Well, let's get to the next thing. Are you guys hungry? We got some French toast. Crunch was launched in 1996, flavored to taste like French toast by the General Mills Company. The cereal pieces originally looked like mini slices of French toast, but General Mills changed the cereal to a style similar to appearance of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, a thin, wavy square sprinkled with cinnamon and sugar flavoring. General Mills discontinued the French Toast Crunch in the United States. Popular demand led General Mills to reintroduce the product, December 5th in 2014. You guys a fan of some French Toast Crunch?
You have Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Why mess with perfection?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I loved the French Toast Crunch, but I loved it just as much as the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So,
Cinnamon Toast was a lot better.
Either way, I mean, it kind of tasted the same. I mean, it was just a different
if you look at the little toasts on this French Toast Crunch cereal thing, it doesn't look as yummy as the Cinnamon Toast does.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hey, I just looked up my Beanie Baby thing I did a reverse search, and it's worth $22.99 on eBay. But no one bought it. So it also has a or best offer with but it's $20 shipping. So
gotcha. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So that one hasn't quite aged as well then. Okay.
So what is that? 30 years ago?
Yeah.
All right. The next thing I remember getting, I think I played it once, but I got it more for the video. And that is the Star Wars interactive video game board. Assault on the Death Star is a board game and accompanying VHS videotape released by Parker Brothers in 1996. It is notable for including new scenes shot 20 years after the first Star Wars film, featuring Darth Vader walking down the halls of the original Death Star set in a performance reprised by David Prowse, voiced by James Earl Jones, and the director of photography, Gilbert Taylor. The game led to the canonization of 4 new characters in the Star Wars universe, including Kyle Katarn. Star Wars Jedi Knight is a series of first and third person shooter video games set in the fictional Star Wars expanded universe. Now, if you want to watch this video, you can go to YouTube. The whole thing is on there. I watched about 30 minutes of it. It's not as exciting if you're not like playing the game itself, Kyle, but you can watch it. I think the total running time is around 50 minutes, if I remember correctly.
Here's the thing, though. Not even the biggest Star Wars thing to come out in 1996. The N64 Shadows of the Empire came out in 1996.
Don't step on stuff that's happening later in Time Warp.
I'm just saying,
But no, you're right.
Considering a preview of things to come.
But you're right. Shadows of the Empire was a banger game, man. That game was so fun. I love
the Hoth level alone was insane.
Yeah. Shadows of the Empire was a great thing that they did. That was awesome. All right. All right, guys. Well, let's get into the next segment here. And the next segment, of course, is 1996 music news in March here, guys. So let's start off with the Beatles. Hear them? I hear they did all right. March 4th, the Beatles' second reunion song is released as part of their first reunion since the band's breakup 26 years earlier. The song is a finished version of Real Love, a John Lennon demo from 1980. I guess I don't remember this. I'll be honest with you. This was kind of news to me. So yeah, Real Love.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Was this just already... This was already recorded and then just was
Yes, this was a finished version of a John Lennon demo from 1980, and they released it as a Beatles song under John Lennon's name. So yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like the fact,
cash is what we're talking about. Basically, somebody needed a little bit of cash.
Yeah.
It's kind of like why we still have Tupac and Biggie original songs popping out every few years because somebody's going on.
Yeah.
Nah, I feel like Tupac's living on like some island somewhere. Like he's I can't.
All right. Next we have the Ramones. This is interesting here, guys. Ramones fans riot in Buenos Aires, Argentina, after waiting all night for concert tickets only to find that the show is sold out. Now, you'll notice there, so it says here, so the Ramones got up on stage together, and this is for a little bit later in August of 1996. The Ramones got up on stage together for their 2000's 263rd and final concert at the Palace in Los Angeles, closing a 22-year career that would be remembered to this day and beyond. We'll go into that a little bit more about other stuff happened, but you'll notice that I have a promotional picture of the Ramones called Pinheads in Buenos Aires. If you're a Ramones fan, you get the Pinheads reference there. But that little that picture you see there of the ticket is actually my ticket to go see this last tour that the Ramones did. I saw them at the Anaconda Theater on Monday, October 2nd, 1992. And that was a big deal for me because I've been a huge fan of them, and I got to see them in a nice, small, intimate setting. And it was a lot of fun. And that mosh pit was insane. Well, this is the year of punks getting together and touring again, guys. The Sex Pistols, they announced that they will reunite for the 20th anniversary tour. On this day, March 18th, 30 years ago, the Sex Pistols announced that the original lineup of Johnny Rotten, Steve Jones, Glenn Matlock, and Paul Cook are reuniting for their first tour in nearly 20 years. Now, this is the original members. Of course, one of the most famous members, Sid Vicious, who, of course, is dead. Glenn Matlock was the original bass player, and Sid Vicious, they got rid of Glenn because he didn't look punk enough and he didn't act punk enough. but he joined them for this reunion tour. And the tour was dubbed the Filthy Lucre Tour as a press conference on March 18th, 1996. And basically, they were very honest about this. They said, we're doing this for the money. And this was actually a big deal for me because I was a big Sex Pistols fan as well. And I went and saw them. And there is my picture of my ticket that I still have. Bands Gravity Kills and Goldfinger opened up for them. And that was at the Universal Amphitheater on August 22nd, 1996. There you go. Now, I have some more music news here, guys. You may know this guy right here. Phil Collins announces he is leaving Genesis to focus on his solo career. Phil Collins announced his departure from Genesis to concentrate on his thriving solo career, movies, jazz project, marking the end of an era for the band after his 25 years with them, though they did later reunite.
So the crazy thing about this is, for basically most of the 80s, I mean, I know Genesis had a couple albums in the 80s, but for most of the 80s, Phil Collins was putting out solo songs all over the place, especially on a certain very popular 80s show, something about some kind of Vice in Miami, Kevin.
And acting in it. Yes, Miami Vice. He was doing quite well. I just figured he was solo all through the 80s anyway.
Yeah.
But I guess he officially hadn't announced his breakup yet. But
I mean, I know Genesis had one of my favorite albums. There's the Invisible Touch album in the mid 80s.
And plus, Lacey, I think it took a decade for him to try to figure out what Susudio meant. But anyway,
I'm just going to say this is one of the few bands I actually have knowledge of, so I'm just going to take a second. Okay. Peter Gabriel was making music by himself. Mike Rutherford went on to do Mike and the Mechanics. Like, these guys didn't split up. They took side quests. This was never it wasn't a breakup. It was side quests. They had to go and do their thing and then come back and do, because they came back together for a reunion tour every 2 years.
I love it. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, I mean,
are you excited about my music knowledge? I'm sorry.
I'm impressed. There must be something in the air tonight.
No, sir.
All I need is a miracle, guys. Come on.
Lacey, you are impressing me very much while you are in your studio there. So well done. All right. Yes, I know that's bad. All right. Well, speaking of music, we like to hit on some of the Billboard Top 100 hits of 1996. And I've chosen a few here, numbers 84 down to 77. With number 84, we have Runaway by Janet Jackson. 83, You Remind Me of Something by R. Kelly. 82, This Is Your Night by Amber. Number 81 is Unbreak My Heart by Toni Braxton. Number 80, Who Do You Love by Deborah Cox. 79, I Want to Come Over by Melissa Etheridge. 78, Jealousy by Natalie Merchant. And number 77, Keep On Keepin' On, MC Lyte featuring Escape. Kyle, what some of these, you remember?
Well, we can't talk about R. Kelly. That's just off the board.
Yeah, his numbers You Remind Me of Something. Yeah, Jail.
Come on, Toni Braxton.
What? Who is that? Is that a?
He did bad things. We're just going to leave it at that.
We're just going to leave it at that. Yeah, you can look it up on the internet, Lacey.
Okay.
Yeah,
Toni Braxton.
But I wouldn't look it up on your computer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, Kevin. Toni Braxton was just owning the charge. She even broke up a basketball team. She was that. The Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, she was gorgeous too.
Is she the one who dated the guy who always had purple or orange hair?
No, not Rodman. No. You're thinking Carmen Electra.
Okay.
What else, Kyle? Who else?
Melissa Etheridge was having the breakout right now, and I went to. I always remember Natalie Merchant. I did like the 10,000 Maniacs, but I went to in high school. I went to school with a girl who was a dead ringer for Natalie Merchant.
I can't stand the 10,000 Maniacs. I was never a fan of Natalie Merchant. I don't know what it is. Not a fan. Melissa Etheridge. I remember I Want to Come Over. That song was a huge hit. Unbreak My Heart. Love Toni Braxton here. And Runaway by Janet Jackson. I remember that one. Mm-hmm. Lacey, do any of these jump out at you at all?
Melissa Etheridge was an Indigo girl, right?
No.
Damn it. I was so excited. I had a connection to that. But so is Who Do You Love that one that's Who Do You Love? Is that
no, different
okay,
one,
then I don't know any of these.
Okay, that's right. That's okay. All right, let's move on to the next.
I blew my nugget with the Genesis
Yeah,
information.
you
I have
used
no
it all up
music.
for the year with Genesis. Sorry.
You shot your wad. All right, we are in March of 1996, the television shows of 1996. Now, there was a lot of TV shows that dropped in March of 1996. I had to kind of scale this down. There was a lot. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little kind of surefire thing here. I'm going to mention a quick fire thing. We're going to do is I'm going to mention the first 7. There's a total of 14. I'm going to do a quick fire here, and you guys can tell me which couple like stand out to you. So here we have in March of 1996. Who remembers Pacific Blue? Went for 101 episodes on the USA Network, 96 to 2000. Jim Davidson, Paula Trickey, Darlene Vogel, and Rick Rossovich. Lacey, your little man crush there.
And a little later, Mario Perez.
Riding police bikes there. Next, we have, I don't remember this show at all, Space Cases. Nickelodeon for 27 episodes. A group of students from a space academy and two of their teachers find themselves lost in space aboard a mysterious ship of alien origin. Peter David was a creator and Bill Mummy. We had guest stars with Mark Hamill, George Takei, and Jewel State, by the way. Also in March, we had High Incident. Cop Show went 32 episodes on ABC, a fast-paced look at a El Camino Police Department officers fighting crime on the streets, one criminal at a time amidst mounting casualties. Eric Bogosian was one of the creators, stars Matt Beck, Matt Craven, Cole Hauser, David Keith, and Blair Underwood. Next, we have Buddies, only ran for 14 episodes. And this was two friends decide to start up a film company. Stars David Chappelle, Richard Roundtree, Judith Ivey, and Tanya Wright. March 8th, we had Muppets Tonight. Ran for 22 episodes. Kermit the Frog, Clifford, and his friends struggled to put on a weekly TV variety show. March 9th, I don't remember this, but I would have watched it because it had Felicity in it. Malibu Shores only went for 10 episodes on NBC. And upper crust Malibu students mix with working class San Fernando Valley ones. They discover that certain issues cut across class boundaries. Stars Kerry Russell, Tony Luca, Christian Campbell, Charisma Carpenter, and Susan Ward. Next, we have The Faculty, only ran for 13 episodes on ABC. Largely set in a teacher's lounge, the show centers on the faculty of a junior high school, stars Meredith Baxter, Peter Michael Getz, and Constance Schulman. That is the first 7 that we're going to highlight real quick here. Lacey, is there a few on there that you would like to touch on?
I remember The Faculty, and I remember the one that was right before this, Malibu Shores. I remember those two. I just ordered Pacific Blue. I have never heard of this. I'm desperately upset that I missed out on apparently 5 seasons of one of my favorite humans, and in policeman bicycle shorts of all things. Like, how did I miss this?
Yeah, I'm surprised that you didn't know.
Clue. No clue. But also shows you I did not read the notes before we started this evening.
Okay, so I just have to throw this out there. Pacific Blue was basically the USA's network's answer to Baywatch. They needed something. Hey, we're going to get hot-looking people riding bicycles, wearing the tight shorts. A couple seasons in, Mario Lopez joins the cast.
Okay.
And of course, it's Rick Rossovich. I mean, come on, you can never go wrong with Slider. Space Cases, written by comic book writing legend Peter David, who had written before he passed away huge number of comics. Kevin, I just got to say real quick on the Malibu Shores, Felicity and Cordelia in the same show. Yeah, I'm checking that out. But
yeah, I'm surprised I did not know about that show. I would have watched it.
Yeah. But we got to talk about Muppets Tonight. One
Tonight.
Of my all-time favorite Muppet shows. We just did our Culture Clash where I brought up Clifford as one of my off-the-wall favorite Muppets. Interesting thing about this show, the reason why Clifford was the host is because Jim Henson had requested in the event of his passing that any future Muppet show would not be hosted by Kermit the Frog. But this was a very fun show. I enjoyed it. I like the new Muppets they introduced. I love the bear. The bear was one of my favorite characters.
Bear was great. I love the bear. And you had Sandra Bullock as one of the
security.
and you had Sandra Bullock, who was huge star at the time, and one of the hosts or one of the guest hosts. Yeah.
Oh, they had some huge guests.
The new show that just came out recently who's hosting that?
Sabrina Carpenter.
No, what Muppet hosts it?
Oh, Kermit. Yeah,
it's the traditional Muppet show. It is the traditional Muppet show. I think they felt it was time.
Yeah, it's definitely, and it was great. It was absolutely great.
Brian approved it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and get into the next bit here, and next 7 here. All right. So the next one we have is a show called Swift Justice. Only ran for 13 episodes on the UPN network, a New York City crime drama about an ex-cop, Max Swift, who takes on investigations that the police can't handle. Stars James McCaffrey, Emerson St. John, Tony Darrow, and Giancarlo Esposito. This one vaguely remembers this one. This one here is called Aliens in the Family. It ran on ABC, but only for 8 episodes. Doug is kidnapped by Cookie, an alien mom. They marry and try to blend their mixed family into everyday life. Stars John Bedford Lloyd, Margaret Trigg, Paige Tiffany, and Kristana Loken. Future Terminator there, Kyle. There you go. All right. Next we have is Shelby Woo. The Mystery Files of Shelby Woo went on for 69 episodes on Nickelodeon. Stars Irene In, Pat Morita, and Adam Bush. Next we have a show I watched. I don't know if I finished it though. It was March 20th, The Sentinel on UPN ran for 65 episodes. In the jungles of Peru, the fight for survival heightened his senses. Now Detective Jim Ellison is a sentinel in the fight for justice. Anthropologist Blair Sandberg works side by side with Jim, helping him develop these senses. Stars Richard Burgi, Garrett Meggert, and Bruce A. Young. Now, I remember this show because this guy was a comedian that was up and coming. This is called Boston Common, a comedy show on NBC, lasted 32 episodes. After moving from Virginia to Boston to spy on his sister who just started college, Boyd finds himself working for the student union where he raises hell more than he should. Stars Anthony Clark, Heidi Burris, Traylor Howard, and Steve Paymer. Next, we have The True Hollywood Story. 490 episodes this show went on E! It was a huge hit there. And season 1, you could see they covered some interesting people, including Rebecca Schaefer's murder and Sam Kinnison's death as well. Next and not last, we have Nash Bridges. CBS ran for 122 episodes. A smart, alecky San Francisco, California cop and his get-rich-quick scheme of a partner keeps tabs on crime and takes down the bad guys in the Bay Area. Stars Don Johnson, Cheech Marin, Jody Lynn O'Keefe, Jeff Perry, Annette O'Toole, James Gammon, Yasmin Bleeth, and Kelly Hu. All right, Kyle, let's go with you. What few of these stand out for you?
I remember the Sentinel. That was one thing about this era was you had the CW and the WB who were desperate for any shows, and they were picking up things that probably would have never gotten picked up anyways. That's why we got the Sentinel. I remember Boston Common. Come on, the True Hollywood Story that was a game changer. That was a game changer. It followed right in the thing with like VH1 behind the music and everything. But the True Hollywood Story was one of the mainstays of the E! Network for forever. But come on, Nash Bridges, Don Johnson's next really big television show after Miami Vice, gave Cheech Marin a whole new set of viewers and career. This was a fun show. We all wanted the car, and come on, it brought us Jody Lynn O'Keefe, Kevin.
Yep, yes, it did. Lacey, what's some of these stand out for you?
Okay, so I worked at a talent agency, and one of the girls who was one of the assistants knew Anthony Clark. Did I say his name? Is it Anthony Clark? Yes.
What TV show?
For Boston Common.
Gotcha.
Okay. Lead. And he did a lot of stand-up down, Melrose Way. So I would go and see him do stand-up, and he was absolutely so much fun.
He is funny. I've seen his stand-up.
The show is great. It's super cute. I'm pretty sure I'm not positive. I'm pretty sure he's the guy who played the hairstylist in The Rock, where he says, "All I want to know is, did you love your haircut?"
I think you're right.
I think that's who that is. Yeah.
I remember, I think this was a show I was discovered Trailer Howard, and she would go on to do a bunch of other stuff. I was crushing on her. I remember that as very well, but yeah.
And then I'm completely flummoxed about the one with the mystery files of Shelby Woo, 69 episodes. Adam Bush later became, part of the evil trio on Buffy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He played Warren.
Yeah.
And so he was one of the evil guys. And he's done well for himself. That's awesome. Yeah. Aliens in the Family sounds like a really unnecessary. Like, it says that she kidnaps him and then they get married. It's like, that seems like 3 seasons of hostage syndrome or whatever.
Well, I think you're reading a little too much into it. It was a family show. It was funny and it was played that way. And if you see the pictures here, you got some cute, funky looking aliens and with the regular family all on the staircase, kind of like the Brady Bunch there.
Yeah.
And so as you got humans helping out aliens and aliens helping out humans there. So yeah, there you go. Of all of these, though, for me, it's Nash Bridges. I love Nash Bridges. I watched that show religiously. I love his Barracuda car. It was gritty. It was funny. And it had a good overall cast too. And give me anything that's filmed in and around the Bay Area in San Francisco. It's a great shooting location. So yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Well, we have one more thing to touch on the TV shows, and that is the top-rated TV shows. We got 2 to focus in on here. Wait, Law and Order started. What?
I need to clear my throat. Dun. Okay, I feel better. Dun.
Every time I think of Law and Order, though, I think of what is it? The movie Ted, where Wahlberg and Ted are talking about, or like doing the Law and Order theme song. It's very, very funny.
Well, just remember, in the criminal justice system,
it's like 537 episodes plus, and there's so many different versions of this show now. But yeah, and this started in 1990, and it's like still in the top 30. It's crazy. So yeah.
The fact that the lead character in Resident Alien is obsessed with Law and Order is one of the funniest things ever. Because he's always, anytime something happens, he's always like, dun.
Nice.
Great.
All right. Next we have in the top rated shows is Third Rock from the Sun. Of course, this premiered earlier. And it's, of course, a group of aliens sent to Earth disguised as a human family to experience and report life on the third planet from the sun. And, of course, to avoid detection, they have taken alien form and have friends that are human. Stars John Lithgow, Jane Curtin, Kristen Johnson, French Stewart, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Wayne Knight, and appearances by William Shatner as the big giant head. Love this show. Have it on DVD. Your thoughts, Kyle?
It's a classic, but I think it's going to be the show. I mean, as good as all that cast is, this show is going to always go down as the show that brought us Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah. Joseph Gordon. I know, Kyle, your voice went out again. It was Joseph Gordon-Levitt, you said, right?
Yeah, this is the show we're always going to be remembered for bringing us Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Nice. Yeah. Very cool. Right. And his girlfriend for like a decade, Larissa Elenick. She played his girlfriend on the show, and then she was his counterpart in 10 Things I Hate About You.
She's great. I love those two in that one. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. That's why their chemistry is so good. I remember that. Yeah. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, we did have one other thing we want to bring to the table here on the Fandom Podcast Network Time Warp is celebrities that were born in 1996 here. We have a few here. We have Maxwell Jacob Friedman, a pro wrestler. Gig Morton, a Canadian actor for Mr. Young. Madeline Peters, Canadian voice actress for Martha Speaks and My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. And actress Liza Koshy. Also, we have a couple of important people that we lost. A couple celebrity deaths here, guys, that are big. Minnie Pearl, 83 comedian, more famously known from the cast of Hee Haw, wore the hat with the price tag. If you're remembering who that was. Loved Minnie Pearl. Mm-hmm. George Burns died at 100 years old on March 9th. We all know George is. He's been in so many things, including the George Burns and Gracie Allen show, the Oh God movies. legendary comedian there. And also we lost Vince Edwards at 67. He's the actor for Ben Casey, among many others. Kyle.
If I remember correctly, too, George Burns called his shot. He said, when I hit 100, I'm gone.
Yeah. All right. Next, we have some celebrity film debuts. We choose a few celebrities and the films that they were in. Billy. Oh, that's an older one I have there, I think, here. Sorry, guys. I did not update it here, I don't think. So what it is, I have Billy Cudrup for Sleepers, Viola Davis in Substance of Fire, Clea Duvall in Little Witches, Joel Edgerton in Race the Sun, and Kimberly Elise for Set It Off. There you go. All right, guys, we got some movies to talk about. All right, Time Warp movies of March of 1996, guys. And we start off March 1st, Bloodsport 2.
Kumite.
Kyle, I'm going to go ahead and let you lead off with this one here because I want you to promote something else.
Yeah, interestingly enough, just a couple days ago, we sat down with our good friend Adam O'Brien, the Lethal Mullet, and we've been doing a canon film retrospective. And of course, one of the biggest canon films is the original Bloodsport. And it was a few years before we had any kind of sequel. Of course, no Jean-Claude Van Damme, but we did get eventually a Bloodsport 2. Alex Cardo is imprisoned and disciplined by one of the inmates. His new master also tells him about the brutal yet illegal Kumite tournament. But how will they get there? So the Bloodsport CPT at the time of this recording will probably be out before this March episode of Time Warp comes out. So make sure you go back and look our catalog and find that.
For the listeners, I'm going to let you know I'm holding the Bloodsport 4 movie collection, which of course includes the original one, Bloodsport 2, Bloodsport 3, and Bloodsport 4, The Dark Kumite. And someone with 2 thumbs sitting right here also might have ordered Lady Deathsport.
Yeah, I might have been responsible for that. But let's talk about Bloodsport 2 for a minute here, Kevin, because directed by Alan Mayrez and Philip Tan. But what's more interesting is the cast of Bloodsport 2. You have Daniel Bernhardt, who actually kind of took over this franchise for the next 3 films. But of course, for Kevin, he's more famous because he's part of the John Wick universe.
Well, let's just mention real quick, Daniel Bernhardt is one of the main villain henchmen in the original John Wick. And he's the one that actually defeats John Wick, not once, but twice. And he needed help, like, getting away from him.
Yeah. Well, and but this is a pretty good cast when you think about it, because you got James Hong, Pat Morita, Donald Gibb. Yes, that Donald Gibb. Philip Tan. And some guy, I think I'm getting this right. Stileski, Kevin.
Chad Stileski, the director of all the John Wick films, and also doubled Brandon Lee after he passed away.
Also the director of the upcoming Highlander film as well.
Yes, yeah. Lacey, you put your finger up real quick. You had a question?
No, I was just going to say that I haven't seen this, but when I saw the poster on that you've got pictured, the one on the right with the red one, I genuinely thought that was Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Well, kind of looks like
him a little bit, much like him.
Yeah. Yeah. Kyle, go ahead.
Yeah. Donald Gibb, who played Ray Tiny Jackson, is the only returning cast member from the original Bloodsport. And veteran Asian Philip Tan, who plays John, also served as the film's martial arts action choreographer.
I've just recently watched this for the first time because we obviously did the Bloodsport Couch Potato Theater, and I gotta say it was kind of entertaining. It was nice to see Donald Gibb back as his character in the original Bloodsport. He adds a little humanity to it, but it takes place in prison because Bernhardt's character is sent to prison. And what I love about it is that James Hong is kind of like the boss of one of the bosses in prison of the prisoners, and he has to kind of teach them, like, there's certain sects, there's certain like groups and people, and yet there's certain people you don't mess with, and you have to get respect from certain people. And so it was an interesting dichotomy of the prison stuff, and it takes place in a prison somewhere in Asia. I can't remember exactly where. And it was good to see Pat Morita in there as well.
Yeah, it was more of a direct to VHS video sequel, but not a bad sequel for a canon film.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, was
All
this
right.
was this
Next on the list.
created by Canon Film, or was this a spin-off to somebody else?
I think by the time this was made, Canon was gone.
They handed off.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because this was 1996. The original film, of course, was canon, but yeah, this
Yeah.
went on later. So, all right, next we have a film I had never seen before, and I was happy to watch it. And this is Down Periscope, a comedy. It made over $25 million in its original theatrical run here. The poster says Kelsey Grammer. He gets the title at the top saying a rusty sub, a rebel commander, a renegade crew. When destiny called, they should have hung up. Lieutenant Commander Tom Dodge is assigned to captain to the USS Stingray, an old diesel-driven submarine that has seen better days. With a crew that consists of only of weird guys and a gal, he's headed against an atomic-powered USS Orlando with a mission to destroy a dummy battleship. Directed by David S. Ward. Stars Kelsey Grammer, Lauren Holly, Rob Schneider, Harry Dean Stanton, Bruce Dern, William H. Macy, Harlan Williams, and Patton Oswalt. Lacey, you are holding up your copy. I'm going to do the same as well. I got a little bit different cover, though. I see yours must probably, I think, is a newer one.
I think mine's Canadian because it's got the.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool there. So,
what are your special features? Mine has none.
Mine has Spanish, French, English language, and caption.
I have French, Spanish, and yeah. Okay, cool.
Nice.
Nice.
Kyle, give us some trivia on this, please. Interesting trivia on Down Periscope.
The diesel submarine used in this movie is the USS Pampantino at SS-383, a World War II submarine currently on public display at Pier 45 in San Francisco, California. The Pampantino could not move under her own power. The underwater shots were scale models. The surface shots actually were the Pampantino, however. She was being towed as evidenced by the surface wake preceding the boat. Commander Dodge makes a snarky comment before meeting his crew. If they're leftovers from World War II, his chief engineer, Howard, is played by Harry Dean Stanton. Stanton served as a cook on board the USS LST-970 during the Okinawa campaign in World War II. Now, Kevin, can I just say, too, I mean, this is a great cast and all this, but I know a lot of guys who went to see this film because this was like when Lauren Holly was like at her peak.
Ooh, yeah.
And was considered like one of the most beautiful women in Hollywood. And Kelsey Grammer was just coming off of Cheers, going into Frasier. He was on a roll himself. So
I heard of this film. I did not see it in the theater. I've never seen this before until recently when I picked this up on DVD. And I'd heard of it. I'm like, it looks kind of corny. I don't know. And Kelsey Grammer, he's okay. How can he, helm a movie, and I didn't really pay attention to the cast. Went and watched it. This movie was better than I thought it was ever going to be. Oh my God.
It's so much fun.
It is so much fun. Harlan Williams was cracking me up in this movie.
He stole the show.
Oh, he totally did. And I love that Bruce Dern was like the dick admiral trying to screw Admiral Kelsey's character, Admiral Kelsey Grammer's character. And Lauren Holland, of course, was funny, but it was just, I love that they were on an old like World War II type of submarine. And there was a lot of funny moments, and it was great. I feel like bad that I had not seen it before. Lacey, your thoughts?
The whale song scene was maybe one of the funniest things. If you haven't seen it, you can't describe it. It's just it's an hour and 28 minutes. I don't think it's even an hour and a half. It's a fun movie. It's silly and goofy, and it's of its time. There's some like unnecessary shots of Lauren Holly getting wet for no reason or whatever, and that's fine. And that's obviously a selling point for some.
When the crew shrunk her clothes and she's forced to wear these very tight clothes.
And so it's a really fun, it's just a fun movie. And I love it. And it has a companion film at the end of our conversation this evening, which is like, anytime I see a movie, I always go for like, what's the perfect double feature.
I know what you're talking about. We'll touch on that later. So Kyle, you remember Down Periscope? You're a fan?
Yeah, I'm like you. I was not a huge Kelsey Grammer fan at this time, but the rest of the cast, I mean, when you have Harry Dean Stanton, Bruce Dern, William H. Macy, Harlan Williams, Patton Oswalt, and of course Lauren Holly, it made me go see this movie, and it was better than it had any right to be. And
Exactly.
it was like you guys said,
Exactly.
it's just a fun movie.
I'm really surprised how fun and funny it was and how well the cast was. I'd seen Harlan Williams before, but he stole this movie. He was so funny. And the guy that was like dealing with all the electricity and the crap that he had to go through to get the electricity to work. Funny stuff. All right, next, guys, we got an interesting film here that I wanted to bring to the table here. This movie is called Man of the Year. Now, Lacey, you thought it was another Man of the Year movie. You want to hold up your copy? You're holding up the 2006 film with Robin Williams called Man of the Year. Nope, it's not
a little
that
different. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, I was very confused.
The one that I'm referring to here did not have a huge theatrical release here. It's a mockumentary look at Playgirl magazine centerfold in 1992 Man of the Year Dirk Schaefer, who kept it a secret from the magazine that he is gay. Most of the film is a fictionalized retelling of Dirk's decision to send a photograph to Playgirl, his selection as a centerfold, and then Man of the Year, his many TV interviews, his friend Vivian Paxton posing as his beard, and the pressures from his live-in lover to come out of the closet. Interspersed with his chronological narrative are the black and white look at the evening Dirk spends with Angela Lucasi, a woman from Reno who wins Playgirl's national contest to have a date with Dirk, and an interview with a stripper who tracks Dirk down. Directed by Dirk Schaefer, written by Dirk Schaefer, stars Dirk Schaefer, co-starring Vivian Paxton, Claudette Sutherland, and Michael Ornstein. Kyle, we got a little bit of trivia on this.
Yeah, it's the feature film writing, directing, and acting debut of Dirk Schaefer, who portrays himself. Actor Paul DeFoe was portraying the character of Rex Chandler, which is actually his own stage name as a gay adult video and magazine star, which means, in effect, he was playing himself.
So what's interesting about this mockumentary, to me, it came across more as a documentary than a mockumentary because they actually show him being interviewed in real places, like with Phil Donahue and all of the popular talk show host and news spots that he did when he was did this thing, and he was chosen as the Man of the Year basically. But he's playing himself in this film / documentary / mockumentary. I don't remember this at all, but I was doing some internet search. It was a big deal apparently. Lacey, do you remember this at all?
No, hence the reason I bought this film.
Got it. You got the wrong one.
Yeah,
I got you.
Totally did.
All right. But your thoughts on this though?
I have none. Legitimately 40 minutes ago is when I realized that I had the wrong movie.
All right. Kyle, do you remember this at all?
I think I've seen it in part, but I've never seen it all the way through. But I do remember the big thing about it was how, like you said, the interviews. It felt more like a true documentary than a mockumentary. Getting the interview with Phil Donahue, who was huge at the time, and just how he portrayed it. But it was one of those things that never got big circulation. So it was kind of one of those things you kind of stumbled across it.
They were showing a lot of his early modeling shots. This dude was a good looking dude. I don't know if he still is. I don't know what he looks like now, but
no, he passed away in 2015.
Oh, 2015. Okay. Rest in peace, Dirk. But I'll tell you, man, this dude had the looks. I mean, if he hadn't, I feel like he could have had another trajectory of maybe a movie star or something like that if he didn't, do the Playgirl stuff. But that part blew up for him as well. So there you go. All right, guys, let's get to the next one here. This one is called Up Close and Personal, made over $100 million in its original theatrical release. Stars Robert Redford and Michelle Pfeiffer. The poster says, "Every day we have is one more than we deserve," featuring the #1 hit, Because You Love Me by Celine Dion. Ambitious young woman determined to build her career in television journalism gets good advice from her first boss, and they fall in love. Director John Avnet stars, of course, Robert Redford, Michelle Pfeiffer, Stockard Channing, Joe Mantegna, who's been in everything this year. I'm just saying that right now. And Glenn Plummer. Kyle, give us some trivia on Up Close and Personal.
The original script was based on the wife of famed young newscaster Jessica Sabotage, who was killed as a passenger in an automobile accident. Michelle Pfeiffer turned down the chance to star in a never-produced adventure film about female pirates, mistresses of the sea, in order to star in this movie. At the time, Pfeiffer had just given birth to her son and did not want to travel overseas. On the DVD extras, Pfeiffer said she wore so many wigs and hairstyles for this movie that she had a trailer with just her wigs in it. And I just want to throw this out there. When your name is Robert Redford, you basically can get any female co-star to be with you because be in a movie with you because you're Robert Redford. And yeah, I'm jealous of Robert Redford because he got to do a movie with Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah.
Okay, just to let you know, I think I have the same one you do, and the bottom of it has like an Asian writing on it.
Yep.
So I don't think this is the
Yep, same
official
one.
like US release. Mine
It
does
is
not have any special features. It's a real disc though. I mean, it's
Yeah,
I
none.
think it is.
So I had never seen this before, and I put it in I was watching it on my DVD Blu-ray player, and I was really enjoying this movie. And I started getting a little bit tired, and I got towards the end, and I fell asleep. And then I woke up going, did I see the ending? I don't remember.
Oh no.
It was really good. And I'm like, okay, I think I saw it. And then like a couple days later, I'm like, yeah, I better go watch it. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do we spoil what happens at the end for a 30-year-old film?
I mean,
I think we're okay.
My
Okay, so-
statements about this
wait.
film will include that spoiler, so I feel
Okay,
like you
so
can go ahead.
I'm like, holy shit! Robert Redford dies while he goes down to Mexico or whatever it is in like an uprising, and he's like, a famous reporter on the spot, and he actually dies, and she sees it happening while it's happening. I'm like, oh my god, I did sleep through that. Jeez. Anyway, I thought that was very interesting though. Kyle.
I remember when this came out. I mean, you had Robert Redford and Michelle Pfeiffer, and that was enough, especially in '96, just to get people to flock to the theaters to see it. It's a drama. It's a love story. It's not going to be something you're going to sit there and revisit it. But these two actors in it, who surprisingly had really good chemistry, and just the story of it was fantastic. And it's one of those kind of movies that it's a traditional. It had that classic traditional big star, big movie feel, and even though it didn't do great at the box office, it did just feel like one of those classic movies.
Just over 100 million, which is pretty good at that time.
Yeah, that's true. A little more than I remember, but it had that classic movie star feel to it.
This is in a time period where they were literally just playing the match game. We had like 5 really hot dudes and about 5 or 6 really hot ladies, and they literally would just like pick one and put them together, and they just mix and match like for a year and a half or 2 years. It was like Brad Pitt, Nicolas Cage, Val Kilmer, Mel Gibson, Harrison Ford, and Robert Redford, right? And then it was Sandra Bullock, Julia Roberts, Susan Sarandon, Sharon Stone, Demi Moore. And this just happened to be that pair up, right?
Yep.
And I think that they were trying to do something. Now I know that this is vaguely, barely based on a true story.
Yeah.
But I just struggle with the fact that they marketed this as like this amazing like love story, and it was supposed to be like a funny haha kind of thing. But they portrayed her character as this woman who couldn't get a job because she didn't know what she was doing, and then she relies on the man to like help her figure things out, and then falls for him, gets a job, and he has to tell her, no, you should take it, because she's like, I don't want to leave you. And I'm like, oh my god, the whole goal is for her to be this like amazing power woman, and she's relying her whole relationship, her whole job on this man. And then when she finally does go and do her thing, and he does his thing, and then nice transfer where like he actually comes to her and follows her to the other job, but it's because she's doing badly because he's not there. So once again, it's her reliance on this man, and then you have to get to the very end where he dies before she becomes a successful person on her own.
There was people trying to there was like Stockard Channing's character was trying to sabotage her too. I mean, she was like getting a lot of pushback from a lot of people, and that's why Stockard Channing was kind of like the villain, newscaster in this and stuff like that. I see your point there, but it's I was like at the end, I'm like, oh crap, he actually died. Jeez, all right.
Yeah,
all right.
But it did have what's his name, the cameraman, love him,
Glenn Plummer, who we know from Showgirls and Speed. Yeah, there you go. All right, next we have a movie I was very curious about because of a particular person that's in it, and Kyle will understand that. The movie's called Sabotage, aka Dark Assassin. an ex-Navy commando, Mark Dacascos, is framed for a bungled mission to save hostages from terrorists, in which he survived being shot 7 times by an assassin played by Tony Todd. Years later, he is hired to protect a weapons distributor and his wife, only to have the same assassin kill them. This sets him on a mission with the assigned FBI agent, played by Carrie-Anne Moss, to bring the killers and conspirators to justice. Graham Greene appears as Dacascos' former commander. Stars, of course, Mark Dacascos, Carrie-Anne Moss, Tony Todd, and Graham Greene. Kyle, I know we got one little bit of trivia there, I think.
Yeah. The surnames of the 2 lead characters are Bishop and Castle, which are both chess pieces. These are obviously in reference to the theme of the film, which is that the people involved are manipulated like chess pieces. Now, I just want to say a thing about this movie. This is the frustration of Mark Dacascos' career, who I am a huge fan of Mark Dacascos. He does these movies and he just can't seem to get the one that really, he never seemed to get the one that really caught him on. And it really wasn't until Iron Chef, I truly believe, that Mark Dacascos became ultra famous. And it's a shame because he is an amazing actor, an amazing person, and an amazing martial artist.
I first discovered Mark Dacascos for the Crow Stairway to Heaven TV series, which I loved. And I was surprised that I liked it because of how protective I was of the original film. But he did the next best portrayal of a Crow character, and for Eric Draven, and that show was fantastic. Canceled too soon. Big fan of his. I went back and started going. I went down a Mark Dacascos rabbit hole. I started watching all this stuff. The movie Drive he did with Kadeem Hardison, a bunch of other films. And
Only
I had
the
not
Strong.
Only the Strong, yes. Brotherhood of the Wolf, you know. And I did not know about this movie until 1996 came rolling around. I'm looking up going, oh, it's a Mark Dacascos film. And I ended up watching it on Tubi first because it was free. And I want to see if, we're going to bring this to the table. And I was actually surprised how good this movie was. A really good kind of spy espionage stuff. The tricks that he knows as a commando type person, all the tricks he knows about, hunting people down and if he's being hunted, how he can like evade them. And he ends up working with Carrie-Anne Moss's character, who's an FBI agent, and she's being undermined by her corrupt bosses all the time. And so they're forced to work together. Tony Todd is great as this crazy assassin guy. This was a lot of fun. I ended up going and buying it on DVD. I wanted to own this film. I highly recommend it if you're looking for like a nice B action film that actually could have been a full on a big theatrical movie release. I believe this was a movie that went straight to video, but I wanted to highlight it here. Lacey, have you heard of this film?
I have not, but I was looking at the list of the actors, and talk about 4 lead actors that have each one of them kind of like missed the mark of becoming hugely famous, with the exception of Carrie-Anne Moss, who, with The Matrix, and she did a few things afterwards, but she's just known for kind of that one big thing, right? And so same with Mark Dacascos, he's got his little niche, right? And then Tony Todd with Candyman playing the bad guy, and all this kind of, not Candyman,
Candyman, yeah.
And then playing the bad guy, he's like a fantastic villain, but he got
also was in The Crow.
Yeah. Right. And he got pigeonholed. Graham Greene, an amazing actor, always ended up being, and he's, a Native American actor. So he often got pigeonholed into playing like one type of character. And so you've got 4 hugely talented human people in this film. And the idea that it didn't do, it's one of those things where you look at it and you go, this should have been huge.
Yeah.
It was giant.
And the story was good, and it had good action scenes. The characters are good. I was really surprised how well this low budget film did. Highly recommended. Check out Sabotage.
Although when did Matrix come out? Is this
1999? 1999.
Okay, so this is pre-Matrix. So maybe I was thinking Matrix would have notched this up a little bit. If it had been 4 years later, this would have been giant. Yeah.
All right, guys. Next, we have a big one here. We've got The Birdcage. Came out March 8th. Made over $182 million. A gay cabaret owner and his drag queen companion agree to put up a false straight front so that their son can introduce them to his fiance's right-wing conservative parents. Directed by Mike Nichols. Stars Robin Williams, Nathan Lane, Gene Hackman, Diane Wiest, Dan Futterman, Callista Flockhart, Hank Azaria, and Christine Baranski. Kyle, give us some trivia on The Birdcage while I showcase Lacey's physical media there. Look how cool that is.
Okay. I find this absolutely impossible that this director could pull this off all the time, but Mike Nichols required that Nathan Lane and Robin Williams filmed at least one good take of each scene sticking to the script before he would allow them to improvise, something, of course, both are quite known for. And it was the breakthrough movie role for Nathan Lane. I'm sorry, no, you don't get through one take without Robin Williams improvising, period. That's the end of the story. And here's an example. Robin Williams slipped and fall during the shrimp scene around an hour and 35 minutes into the film was not planned. Williams really fell, and Hank Azaria, and Dan Futterman are holding back laughter. Williams can even be heard holding back laughter, telling everyone to go out of the kitchen. And finally, Hank Azaria realized after filming that he had based his voice on his grandmother's.
Yeah. All right. So I just want to mention real quick, Hank Azaria is a standout for me. I love him in this movie. He is so darn funny. And of course, if you don't know who Hank is, he is, of course, one of the main voices for The Simpsons. He does Apu and many, many, many others, and he is hilarious in this. Also, too, I was crushing on Christine Baranski in this movie. God, she was gorgeous. She's so funny, too. I think this was one of the earlier films I first was introduced to her, or at least I found memorable. Lacey, your thoughts on The Birdcage?
This is one of the few movies that I have on Blu-ray and DVD that I have not combined. And it's
Why?
Because the DVD has this little booklet that came with it that has all these little behind-the-scenes interviews and stuff that is not available on the Blu-ray. And I don't want to cut this.
You can fold it.
Absolutely not. Are you kidding me? You know me well enough to know that I'm never going to fold something.
Yeah, you're right. Check it out. It's got a nice little booklet.
Yeah, it's like a little 8-page booklet. You know, it's not. Yeah. I mean, it's nothing fancy, but it's got some fun little stories and stuff in there.
Right.
This movie, I was watching it last night. I did a back-to-back double feature of The Birdcage and the other Man of the Year. And I was sitting there going, "Wow, he looks really different in these two films." I was very. And then come to find out it's because those two films were filmed 10 years apart, which is why he looks so different in the other one. The comedy in this film, I love this movie because it makes fun of everyone and it's not pointed. It makes fun of Republicans. It makes fun of, Democrat. It makes fun of all different things and just how they clash. And I think that they use just enough humor for it not to be. I don't think you could make this right. You couldn't make this now, or at least not without some serious contemplation on like how it would be very dangerous to try and make this movie now. But it's one of the standouts for Nathan, for everyone involved. I mean, it's one of my favorite Gene Hackman performances.
He's surprisingly good in this film. Yeah,
right. And Diane Weiss and her just isn't that everything? Oh, isn't that?
I think this was one of. And also, I think this was one of the first things I saw Callista Flockhart in, too. If I remember correctly.
Callista Flockhart. This is just pre-Ally McBeal.
Kyle. Sorry, go ahead.
No, and Hank Azaria is one of the funniest human beings on the planet. The fact that he can't wear shoes because they make him fall down is one of the best running gags ever.
Very funny,
I could go on. Go ahead. No, it's fine.
Kyle, what say you on Birdcage?
Well, it is an absolutely hilarious film. It's so hilarious. It's one of Stripes' favorite movies because he had to come in and join on this conversation.
You might want to explain who that is for those that don't know.
Yeah, Stripes is one of my kitty cats, and kitty cat of the Fandom Podcast Network mascot. But yeah, I'm not home that much these days because I work, so they're kind of glued to me. So anyway, but this is absolutely hilarious. And the only thing I have all these images on the set of this movie of you have Gene Hackman, who is in probably ways because he was such a traditional style actor, losing his mind with Nathan Lane and Robin Williams and the improv they would do and just the craziness on set, but in a good way. But it was still, I get the clash of acting styles in this film is great. And the fact that they were able to all come together and pull this off is wonderful.
Only take away.
There was a scene when they're walking, Nathan Lane and Robbins are walking down and around I guess it's like Miami Beach area. And I was reminded the last time I was in Miami Beach, there's certain there's certain ways of dressing in Miami Beach that you can only get away with in Miami Beach, and watching all the extras and what they were wearing or lack of what they were wearing was very, very funny. So, all right, guys, the next one we have here is Fargo, made over 51 million in its original theatrical run. Poster says a lot can happen in the middle of nowhere. Fargo, Minnesota car salesman Jerry Lundgaard's inept crime falls apart due to his and his henchmen's bungling and the persistent police work of the quite pregnant Marge Gunderson. Director is Joel and Ethan Coen. Writers are Joel and Ethan Coen. Stars William H. Macy, Frances McDormand, Steve Buscemi, Peter Stormare. Kyle, give us some trivia on Fargo.
Joel Coen had Frances McDormand and John Carroll Lynch conceive a backstory for their characters to get the feel of them. They decided that Norm and Marge met while working on the police force, and that when they were married, they had to choose which one had to quit. Since Marge was a better officer, Norm quit and took up painting. The role of Carl Showalter was written specifically for Steve Buscemi, and the actors used the book How to Talk Minnesotan to help with their accents.
So I have the Blu-ray here, right? I'm a fan of this film. I know it's not for everybody, but I'm a fan of this film, and and what I love about it too, it's like a quick 90 minutes, right? And there's some great character moments in this, and it's definitely a Coen film. There's definitely the violence in here as well, with a dark humor. What's funny too is I saw the DVD and I picked up the DVD, and then I realized, oh crap, it's not the DVD of the movie because it kind of looks like it. It's actually the FX original series first season, which I did watch and enjoy. So I picked up the first season, not realizing, I'm like, oh yeah, there's Billy Bob Thornton over there with several other people. So I'm a huge fan of this film. It's when it comes to Coen brother films, it's like right there near the top. There's a couple others that I like more though, but this really was the breakout role for both William H. Macy and Frances McDormand, I think, in this. And so I'm a fan of this. Kyle.
It's interesting. We have certain directors we've talked about through the history of Time Warp. I think Joel and Ethan Coen are like that, where you have a love-hate relationship with them. At times, you absolutely love what they make, and at other times, you're like, what the hell did I just watch? Fargo, on this case, is one of those things that you absolutely love what they made. This is like you, Kevin. This is one of their best movies. I think this is a film breakout for William H. Macy. He was already getting pretty popular from his stint on ER before this came out. And this is one where the Coen brothers just hit an absolute home run, and the FX show, which is still running, is absolutely phenomenal and has had amazing actors in it through its entire run.
Yeah, it's become an anthology series, and it's done very, very well. And some very important movie stars have been part of that TV series. Now, Lacey, I got wind that you were not a fan of Fargo. Is this true?
I saw it the one time. It was funny. I laughed. I have legitimately no interest in seeing it again. I just can't. I have not found but like one or two Coen Brothers movies I liked. I liked Hail Caesar, but I think that's because the dancing and the fun and the whatnot. I don't think that, I don't like.
That was a departure for them, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. And I think A Serious Man is, I bought that because of the lead actor. Who was, I only know who Michael Stuhlbarg is because of Call Me by Your Name, and I went through, I'm a season ticket holder. When I find someone I like, I go back and get all their stuff.
But you're not a fan of the Coen brother films.
I mean,
gotcha. Okay,
I'll see them once, and it's like, okay, I don't avoid their movies, but I don't own them. I'll see them once and go, okay.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah, it's kind of a it's kind of a niche thing, and you got your hardcore fans, and we're like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, their style's not for everyone for sure. All right, next one we have here, guys, is a romantic comedy called If Lucy Fell. It made only about a little over $2.5 million in its theatrical run. A romantic comedy. Two New York roommates have a pact to jump off the Brooklyn Bridge if they haven't found life partners before she's 30. That's less than a month away. Directed by Eric Schaefer. Writers, Eric Schaefer and Tony Spadakis. Stars, Sarah Jessica Parker, Eric Schaefer, Ben Stiller, Elle Macpherson, Scarlett Johansson, and Emily Hart. And this is Emily Hart's film debut. Lacey, you're holding up a DVD. My cover's a little bit different there. I want to showcase those. Oh, because you got a double feature there of what?
Yeah, mine's a double feature.
Gotcha. Which is the other movie on there?
It's there. This is a Sarah Jessica Parker double feature. It is called it's If Lucy Fell and Life Without Dick,
Gotcha.
which is funny because both of them have a lead character named Dick.
Well, my quick thoughts on this is, first of all, this is an Eric Schaefer project. I was doing some research on him, and he was kind of an up-and-coming writer, actor, and he got hired to do some other stuff. He didn't become a big name, but I think this is going to kind of be the film, and he's the lead male character in this. That is the friendly roommate to Sarah Jessica Parker, and they're the ones that eventually, of course, end up falling for each other. But I can tell you right now, I feel like this is the prequel to Sex and the City. If you told me that this was her character in this film, I would have believed it because of the way that she was talking about relationships not working out and weird sex stuff and all that. Like, I almost kind of feel like someone saw this film and went, "We need Sarah Jessica Parker for the lead of Sex and the City." Feels like a prequel. My only issue with this film is actually Eric Schaefer's character himself, the weird idiosyncrasies and issues that he's having with women and wanting to make a move because he's really crushing on Elle Macpherson, who is across the street, and he's like watching her from the other side of the street window, and she knows about it, and he's acting like a teenager in the way that he's describing his feelings, like he hasn't matured over 10 years. That was my only issue with this film. Other than that, Sarah Jessica Parker is really good at this. Ben Stiller has a scene-stealing moment of a really weird like painter. Lacey, your thoughts on If Lucy Fell?
If Lucy Fell. Okay, so I feel like because Eric Schaefer wrote and directed and starred, I feel like he found two women that he wanted to make out with in real life, was very happy that they happened to be able to act, and then put himself in the lead role so that he could make out with Elle Macpherson. And
I thought the exact same thing when I was watching this film.
The character is not. It's not. I mean, this is 96. So
finish your sentence. Finish your sentence. There is not.
It's not a good character. Like, it's not a positive character in any way. He is self-conscious and down on himself. Okay, fine. The nut of this is that he is a peeping Tom who obsesses over this woman across the hall, across the alley, and he's a painter, and all he paints is pictures of this woman. Yeah. And then he invites her to his gallery. And it's just, he's gross. Yeah. Ew. And then
he's not that likable of a guy.
The character's a terrible character, but in 1996, that was kind of the thing. It was okay for like a man to do that as long as he was, redeemed in the end.
Kyle, did you see this one?
A terrible character.
I saw it when it first came out on VHS and or DVD, Blockbuster one night. It was Sarah Jessica Parker, it was Elle Macpherson. You got a little Scarlett Johansson in this, and Stiller has the great scene. For me, it's kind of represents the time. It's a film that represents the time. And come on, what man wasn't obsessing over Elle Macpherson at this point in time? As far as she was absolutely huge. I agree with you. It kind of feels like a Sex and the City prequel. And it's one of those things, too, where I think it's a film that's affected by a lot of people's kind of love-hate relationship with Sarah Jessica Parker.
Interesting. Yeah, I had never heard of it before until we started doing this 1996. Lacey?
Also, the whole concept that they make a pact to kill themselves when they turn 30 instead of getting married. The whole everyone makes the deal. If we're not married by 30, we'll marry each other and be happy and alone and weird and whatever, and we'll just make it work. But no, they decide to jump off the absolutely not.
That was a pact that they made when they were teenagers, which was a stupid one. But
she's 29 years old and she's
they held to it. So yeah.
That's just
it's an interesting concept, but it is weird. Yeah.
For your information, Life Without Dick, Harry Connick Jr., Johnny Knoxville, Sarah Jessica Parker, much better movie. Take a watch. Hilarious.
All right. Next, we have the action movie Executive Decision, made over $122 million in its original theatrical run. The DVD here says 5 miles above Earth, an elite team of 6 men must make an air-to-air transfer in order to save 400 lives on board at 747. and 40 million below. Executive decision. When terrorists seize control of an airliner, an intelligence analyst accompanies a commando unit for a mid-air boarding operation. Directed by Stuart Baird. Stars Kurt Russell, Halle Berry, Steven Seagal, John Leguizamo, and Oliver Platt. Kyle, we got some interesting trivia on this one. Please give it to me. Lacey, you're holding up the same DVD I am.
Halle Berry refused the part in this film, but said yes when she was offered $1 million for the job. Yeah, I usually will do it. This was her first $1 million payment for a film. Now, this is, I think, to appeal to a certain market, but the face of Steven Seagal was added on the Indonesian, German, and Dutch cinema posters and the VH covers to attract more viewers. It was quite popular there at the time. In the Netherlands and Belgium, this movie was also retitled Critical Decision because of executive decision was felt to be too difficult to pronounce. So, now, Kevin, from things we know, I think this is probably an absolutely very much a true statement. In 2022, our good buddy John Leguizamo confirmed that he did not have a good time with Steven Seagal. No one has. I kind of didn't think to believe that. According to the Observer, Seagal was threatened to attack Leguizamo if they ever crossed paths on the red carpet after learning Leguizamo had mocked Seagal on his comedy show, Ghetto Clown. However, Leguizamo wasn't threatened and said of Seagal, I don't think he's invited to a lot of red carpets. Now, Kevin, you fly, you do a lot of flying. You take long trips.
Yeah, I have a ticket to Australia on Oceanic Airline.
Well, that was what I was worried about because I also know you like to do things that were filmed on location and go to those kind of places. I really hope you haven't jumped on an Oceanic Airline flight because the airline featured in this film is Oceanic, which was coincidentally the name of the airliner that crashed in the television series Lost. And coincidentally, Nick Jameson appeared in both. And Kevin, I really don't want you to end up on the Lost Islands. But okay, I need to say something about this movie.
Give us your thoughts on Executive Decision, Kyle. This is your time.
One of the most shocking things I think I've ever seen in a movie. This is pre-internet. Internet wasn't really spoiling things yet. Killing Steven Seagal off so early in this film.
Now, hold on. Remember, Kyle, we didn't hate Steven Seagal yet at this time. He was not known as a jerk to the public at this time. We didn't know all of this stuff at this time.
Right. That's what I was going to say. It was absolutely shocking that they did that.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember being in a theater, in the entire theater, literally.
You actually see his body flying away in midair.
Yeah. Now, I will say this too about that. The moment of his death might have been the moment his career truly ended. It was bad.
Yeah, his movie choices didn't quite do well soon after this. Any other thoughts on this?
But this movie is so much fun. Kurt Russell's great in it, but you've got Oliver Platt and John Leguizamo who are just phenomenal in this movie as well. This is one of those ones.
Joe Morton too, the special forces guy that gets hurt. And his spine is like broken and he has to like help defuse that bomb in the belly of the plane while he's on his back.
I mean, this movie is one of those fun action movies. I had a blast in the theater. I'll watch it anytime it pops on. It is a true couch potato theater movie, Kevin.
I don't know about that. I'll be honest with you. There's something with this movie that doesn't sit right with me on rewatch. And I've never returned to a lot for that reason. And I'm not sure why. I mean, I've seen a lot of cool, like, terrorist takeover. I actually prefer Passenger 57 over this. I'll be honest with you when it comes to terrorist plane stuff and several other ones too.
Turbulence.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like there's something that just doesn't sit well with this one. I don't know if it's the terrorists are bad in this, but I mean, like in the beginning of the movie, you see Kurt Russell learning to fly, and they're totally like telegraphing like he's got to learn how to fly something later on. I don't know what it is. I just can't put my finger on it. Lacey, what is it?
Well, I have many thoughts.
I mean, I like the actors involved.
Yeah.
There's just, I don't know. It's just weird.
Okay. I'm going to go off and say because it's an airplane situation and it's the 10 minutes is the plane, right? And then you see, they figure out that there's something going on and it's been, hijacked or whatever. But then you only see it from the point of view of the special forces team, which is a cool thing, except Halle Berry, who was paid $1 million for this role, has like 28 minutes of screen time. Like, she's really not in it that much.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
She's in it, but she's not doing things. Like, she stands in front of doors and like covers windows and like answers the phone or like shows little. She's not utilized very much. Number one.
I think it's the pacing of the film too that bothers me. I think they spent way too much time underneath that damn plane. It gets boring after a while, and there's all this unnecessary suspense that like we don't need.
I feel like if Schwarzenegger was on the plane or Stallone was on the plane, it would have been a 12-minute movie and it would have been over, and then they would have been partying on the ground. I will say the one person we were forgetting, just throwing it out there, Marla Maples was the second flight attendant.
The flight attendant.
I'm pretty sure this is pre Marla Maples Trump. I'm pretty sure this is pre-Trump.
I think so. She looked familiar. I forgot who she was. But yeah.
No, because she was with Trump in '96 when I met them during the Olympics. Okay. So, and they had like a 4-year-old. So this is while she's married to Trump. Gotcha. And then also Whip Hubley from Top Gun. Yeah, he's one of the other SEALs, or I don't know that they said SEALs. Yeah. The other fun thing about this, I know we talked about John Leguizamo. If you watch the movie The Menu, which is a delightful recent film,
I've seen it. Yep.
If you watch the special features on that film, John Leguizamo does a full interview with no holds barred, talking about how he based the horrible behavior of his character on Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal
is exactly this character, and he's a douche, and all this kind of stuff. And it was like, he means
Kyle,
this.
Your thoughts? What?
It was a lot.
Yeah. I think I know what your problem is with this film, Kevin.
What's that?
Michael Biehn and Charlie Sheen are not part of the Navy SEALs team.
Yeah, I don't know. I had trouble rewatching this, and it's like I'm not even going to keep the DVD. I'll be honest. It's not couch potato worthy for me, Kyle. You can do it. I'm not going to do it. And by the way, it's only gotten this weird DVD release. I don't think it's ever gotten a Blu-ray. So I don't know if that tells you something right there. It's one of those action movies that has not really sustained itself as well. I don't hear it upon people talking about it all the time and rewatching it. It's just I think other people might feel the same way. There's just something missing, or there's just anyway.
At the time, I was really mad that they killed off Seagal at 28 minutes in. I was like, well, that's just bait and switch. And now I'm like, this movie is so much better without I like the Michael, the Kurt Russell of it all. So I would do a couch potato on this with you if you want to, Kyle.
There you go. Mm-hmm. All right, next, guys, we got a film called Diabolique. Diabolique. Made over $17 million original theatrical release. A wife and mistress of a sadistic dean of an exclusive prep school conspire to murder him. Stars Sharon Stone, Isabella Adjani, Chaz Palminteri, who's in everything this year, and Kathy Bates. Kyle, give us some trivia on Diabolique.
I'm going to pop this trivia in, not realizing what made you famous. Sharon Stone, Sharon Stone and the film's producer James G. Robinson fell out over her refusal to do a nude scene. Sharon, know your audience. Gabriel Byrne, Jeremy Irons, and Jack Nicholson all turned down the role of Guy Barron, who ultimately went to Chaz Palminteri. And in the Flintstones, the 1994 movie, there was a character named Sharon Stone, and the real Sharon Stone was asked to play herself, but Stone had already signed on to appear in this film and had to decline. A decision she later claimed to regret. I'm thinking so, considering her issues on the set.
So Lacey, you're holding up a triple feature there.
Yes.
It is Incognito, In the Crowd, and Diabolique, right?
It's Diabolique. It's Incognito and The In Crowd, not In the Crowd, but The In Crowd. Gotta tell you, not the best movie on this disc.
I was not a fan of this movie. Thought it was kind of a slog, to be honest with you here. And the thing that was kind of distracting too was the intense thriller music that seemed to be cut and paste with all the other
Right?
intense thriller music.
Oh,
And I found the crime and the some of this thing just like, really, did that really happen? He's dead, but he's not. And it's just like, I don't know. I know it's based on a 1955 film by the same name. Maybe that was done better. I don't know. But I just feel like this is one of those, like, oh, let's get another 90s thriller in. Someone's planning on killing someone and no, they're not dead. And now there's revenge and blah, blah, blah. Lame. Watched it on, I think, Prime for free. Won't watch it again. Lacey?
this is a terrible movie. Now, it had potential to be. I like all the actors. I don't have any problem with any of their performances. I love Kathy Bates' character. She's my favorite.
She's the best part. She's the private investigator. Yeah.
But the problem that I have is this is the dumbest
Premise?
murder ever.
Yeah.
Who doesn't check the pulse? Are you an idiot? Are you a moron? Like, this is so dumb.
Yeah.
And the fact that it became like this who do you trust kind of thing, and then everyone changes their mind and all it was so dumb. It was so dumb.
It is very dumb. Kyle, did you see this movie?
I tried to see this movie and I couldn't. I just
Okay.
Do not. Don't.
It's
Yeah,
bad.
I almost turned it off halfway through, but I'm like, I gotta see what happens. I gotta know if it really does suck, and it does. So yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
Well, I mean,
right.
wait. Just the basis of this movie, to put out this movie, is this was a very popular type of movie in the '90s, and it's Sharon Stone, and
it's also the tip. And you got the typical, 90s poster with Sharon Stone's half face and the other girl's half face, and then the Chaz Palminteri's half face. So yeah. Let's move on from this piece of crap. Let's go to the next one here called Flirting with Disaster here. This is a comedy made over $16 million in its original theatrical run. The poster says, a story of a man who went searching for his roots and got tangled up along the way. Stars Ben Stiller, Patricia Arquette, Téa Leoni, Mary Tyler Moore, George Segal, Alan Alda, Lily Tomlin, Richard Jenkins, and Josh Brolin. Kyle, give us some trivia on Flirting with Disaster.
So, according to Lily Tomlin, Ben Stiller and David O. Russell did not get along and had many heated arguments. The film's cast includes 1 Oscar winner, Patricia Arquette, and 6 Oscar nominees, Josh Brolin, Alan Alda, Richard Jenkins, George Segal, Mary Tyler Moore, and Lily Tomlin. It was chosen by Time magazine as one of the best films of 1996 at position number 7 in the year-end review issue dated December 23rd, 1996. Included among the American Film Institute's 2000s list of the 500 movies nominated for the top 100 funniest American movies.
Okay. Is that it, Kyle?
That is it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Lacey, have you seen Flirting with Disaster?
I am shocked that this made a top 100 of anything. I'm not trying to be mean. Like, I remember seeing it and being like, okay. And then I like Ben Stiller. I think he's funny. Some people don't like him. A matter of fact, most people that I know are not willing to come and watch Ben. I love him. I think he's hilarious. But I didn't like the relationships in the movie. They were very flat.
I got thoughts. Kyle, did you see this movie?
I saw it. I kind of agree with Lacey. This is just a very flat movie. I don't know how it even hits in that list for Time magazine. But I would be remiss if I didn't say this, Kevin. Téa Leoni is one of the most underrated, sexiest women of this time frame. I mean,
gorgeous.
this Bad Boys. I mean, just underrated.
Yeah. So I had never seen this film before, and I was like, well, it's got a great cast. I want to see these people. I mean, there's only like maybe 1 or 2 in here. I'm like, but I'm like, oh my God. I mean, and Ben Stiller's in it. And so I ordered the DVD, and it was delayed in shipping, and it literally got to me today, and I was able to watch it right before we do this podcast because it's only an hour and a half long. Thank God. And it was disappointing. I got to tell you, what I don't like about this type of comedy is that it's about people making stupid decisions and not learning from them. And it's a continuous theme. And I got to tell you, Mary Tyler Moore, who plays the mother, was one of the most annoying mothers of all time. I just wanted her. George Segal, I mean, he was funny, I guess. But it just, to me, it was just uncomfortable to watch. I didn't find it funny at all, to be honest with you. Taylor Leone, yes, I was crushing on her. I thought she was cute in it, but she just, I don't know. It just seemed like situations that they got in were just not realistic, and they were always arguing with each other. There was weird tension. This is not a fun film. I don't know why people thought this was funny. Was it a 90s thing? I don't know.
And also, I think that, I mean, I've seen Taylor Leone in interviews where she's genuinely a funny person. She's nice. She's sweet. I don't think I've ever seen a movie that she has done where I actually liked her character. I've never found one of her. And I think that might be one of the reasons that I didn't like this movie.
Try Family Man, the holiday film with Nicolas Cage. That one. Right, I
haven't. Yeah.
That's the one. And that's a Lacey movie, by the way. That is a full-on Lacey movie.
Yeah, I haven't. I've seen it, but I don't like her character. I just don't. Something about it. I don't know. I think it's just
okay.
She did another movie with Ben Stiller too that is pretty fun in Tower Heist.
That's right.
Don't get me started on that movie. I have thoughts about that movie.
All right. Well, let's move on from Flirting with Disaster. This was another film I had never seen before. And I'm glad I saw it. We'll get into that here. This is called Race the Sun, made just over $1.5 million in its original theatrical run. And it's about a bunch of high school misfits in Hawaii introduced by their new teacher to attend a science fair in which they draw up inspiration to build their own solar car and win a trip to compete in the 1990 World Solar Challenge in Australia. Stars Halle Berry, Jim Belushi, Bill Hunter, Eliza Dushku, Casey Affleck, and Joel Edgerton. Kyle, give us some trivia on Race the Sun.
You mentioned this earlier. It is a film debut of one Mr. Joel Edgerton, and it is actually based on the true story of the 1989 to 1993 Kanawian High School solar car team. And the first Nuon solar team, 7-time winner of the World Solar Challenge, decided to build a solar car after watching this movie.
Have you seen this movie, Kyle?
Yes, I was a fan. I'm a fan of this movie. This is just one of those fun, feel-good movies. It's just you watch it, you enjoy it, you enjoy the cast in it, you enjoy the message of it, and it's Belushi's great in it, but Halle Berry's great in it, and it just makes you feel good.
So I'd never heard of this film, and I'm like, oh wow, I gotta get this. It looks like a good cast. This looks interesting, right? So Race the Sun, I bought it on DVD. Thoroughly enjoyed this film. It is a really fun film. It's shot on location in and around Hawaii, and then they actually go to Australia. If you're watching the YouTube channel here, there's a picture of the car that they race in there. And the race that they do is a real race. They do every couple of years, if I remember correctly. And one of the other characters in this film was played by Steve Zahn, but he plays a German expert. And if you look at the dark little black car at the bottom there, that's the one that he races. And he plays a full-on jerk in this one. And he does his little German accent. He's very, very funny in this. But you get to see like a young Elisha Dushku, like right after True Lies, pre-Buffy. And she's kind of troubled a little bit, but she's really cool. But the standout for me is actually like Casey Affleck in this, because he's the one who's has these designs, and he is the one that helps them like launch this quest to do this. And what's really cool is this race is a real race that happens in Australia. And I have a picture here on YouTube on where it starts and where it ends. It starts at the top of Australia in Darwin and goes straight down the gut of Australia and finishes in Adelaide. And you do it in sections, and you go with a group like your team, and then you switch out drivers from time to time. And you have to really be careful about the heat because it gets really, really hot, but it goes literally down the middle of Australia. And if you're looking at the YouTube there, if you see where it says finish on that one picture, right to the right of it is Melbourne. And that's where I'm going to be going next week.
Nice.
Thoroughly enjoyed this film. Lacey, have you seen it?
I have. I used to have it on VHS, and I realized a little while ago that I don't have it on DVD, or I don't think it's out on Blu-ray, but I looked it up, and it was out of print and hard to find, and you can only find a good copy of it. If you find one that's new, it's like $84, and I was just
Yeah,
like,
I got lucky with mine. I think it was like around $15. I just took a chance on it, and I'm glad
yeah.
that I did. Yeah, but I had to get it on.
Did you
I had to
did
get it
you
on
find it
eBay.
used?
What's that used? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, a really fun film.
Yeah.
I think it's actually streaming on YouTube or on Tubi. Thank you, Tubi. How I mentioned how much I love Tubi. I'm gonna say I love
Right.
Tubi. Yeah. But yeah, I believe it is streaming there as well. But
Mhm.
very, very fun film, and it's based on a true story, and it's a race that still happens as well. So there you go. All right, guys. Next is Sergeant Bilko, made over just almost made $38 million in its original theatrical run here. Sergeant Bilko is a well-liked con man in charge of the Army base's motor pool, developing a hover tank and unofficially of gambling, etc. One man hates Bilko, and he's coming to inspect the base for possible closure. Directed by Jonathan Lynn. Stars Steve Martin and Dan Aykroyd, Phil Hartman, and Glenn Headley, just to name a few. Lacey, you and I, looks like we got the same DVD right here, Sergeant Bilko. I think I saw it on, it's also available on Blu-ray, but it's more expensive, but I bought it on DVD here, so yeah. Lacey, give me your thoughts on, wait, let's get some trivia first, Kyle. Hit me up with some trivia first.
The only cinema movie that actors and comedians Dan Aykroyd and Steve Martin both appear in as of March 2017. And Kathy Silvers, who plays Lieutenant Monday, is the daughter of Phil Silvers, who was the original Sergeant Bilko on TV.
Lacey, your thoughts on Sergeant Bilko?
I love Sergeant Bilko. It is super fun. This is what I was talking about earlier when I said that there is a perfect pairing for Down Periscope.
Yes.
Down Periscope and Sergeant Bilko are both hilarious military comedies. One is Navy and one is Air Force, but Air Force.
Army.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. And so much fun. Phil Hartman in this movie is so good. So he has that character down and he plays it so well. I love his angry, flustered. He's just hilarious. And
a many visitor to Greenland as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
But Steve Martin as Sergeant Bilko is amazing. Is it David Alan Grier?
Pamela Alden is in it as well.
Yeah. So many fun people. Glenn Head, so sweet. Love this movie. Love the purse. Love the shoes. Love everything.
Kyle, your thoughts on Sergeant Bilko?
I've only seen it the one time, and it's a Steve Martin film, but I gotta agree with Lacey. Phil Hartman kind of steals this movie. This is Phil Hartman kind of at the peak of his powers almost, and he really does kind of steal it. I wasn't that familiar with the classic Sergeant Bilko TV show. I have fun with this movie. It's a great cast. It's one that I just haven't revisited a lot. I'm kind of mixed with my Steve Martin. I like a lot of Steve Martin stuff, but every once in a while, it's not. I don't find myself revisiting a lot of Steve Martin.
So the other co-stars in this was Daryl Chill Mitchell. Of course, we know him from Galaxy Quest and Ed, among others. Max Casella as
Walking
well.
Dead.
John Ortiz is in this. Deborah Jo Rupp is also in this. Chris Rock, a young Chris Rock, is in this too. So I had never seen this film before. I've never seen it streaming anywhere. I've never seen it playing anywhere. It just seemed to just disappear. And I'm like, oh, I got to find this. And I ended up buying it on Amazon on DVD. I think I found it for around $13 because I was kind of curious about it. And you know what's funny? Since we've been doing these time warps, and I've been discovering these other films by these actors that we know. And what's so funny is when it comes to Steve Martin, I'm just going to talk about where he's like a strict, like comedic role, not like his Parenthood or, stuff like that. What I mean is like his strict comedy roles. And my favorite one is one I'd never seen before, which was The Man with Two Brains. That movie, I was cracking up. It is so funny. And when I saw Sergeant Bilko for the first time, like just the other day, this movie shot up there. This movie is freaking hilarious. What really, really helps this movie is the ensemble cast and how he works with it. It is so funny. I even love like the hovercraft tank, which could be a real thing. It was funny to see that like in action as well. I'm surprised I've never seen this film, but in a way I'm not, because I just don't see it playing anywhere, you know, and I didn't see it a lot when I, back in the 90s and early 2000s. Happy to have it on DVD. Highly recommend it. It shot up there. Some of my favorite Steve Martin films. So now
I would put this next to, not above, but next to Stripes. When it comes to watching a comedy about military stuff, I think
getting away with shenanigans and stuff like that. Yeah, it's great. All right, next we have, last but definitely not least, is Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. This actually went straight to video. We'll get into that in a little bit here. But this, of course, is the sequel, of course, to Honey, We Shrunk Our Kids. And this time the adults have shrunk themselves and the kids need to fix it. Stars Rick Moranis, Eve Gordon, Bug Hall, Stuart Pankin, and Allison Mack. And also a young, forgetting her name, Mila Kunis as well. Kyle, give us some trivia on Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves.
So the film takes place 8 years after Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. In this film, Adam is 10 and was 2 years old in the previous film. Rick Moranis is the only original actor from the previous movies to return. The film was originally scheduled for a theatrical release during the 1996 holiday season. However, because Disney was having success with animated direct-to-video films, the studio chose the film as the first live-action direct-to-video movie.
All right. Who has seen this film? Because I just watched it for the first time. Lacey.
Yep. Oh, yes. I've seen it. This was the third one, I think.
Yes.
So it was Honey, We Shrunk the Kids, Honey, We Blew Up the Baby, and then We Shrunk Ourselves. And then I think there was a TV show, right? You said?
Yeah, it was a TV show after this.
And then it's also fun. They had the Honey, We Blew Up the Audience. I don't know if that was Disney or it was Disney, or that was fun.
One of the Disney parks you're talking about, right?
Yeah, it was at the park. Yeah.
At Disney, it was Honey, We Shrunk the Audience, because
we shrunk
the audience, you as getting shrunk in the ride.
Yeah. So that was kind of fun. But this is cute. It's not one that I own. I don't have any. I saw the other day, I was like, oh gosh, I don't have any of the Honey, I Shrunk series. So but I believe this is the last movie that he did before he retired, because his wife had passed away and he wanted to.
He was contractually obligated to do this film because of the contract he signed. But yeah, Kyle, do you remember this movie?
Kevin, the last Culture Clash we did where we had to talk about sometimes Disney doesn't leave well enough alone and just needs to let it kind of do its thing. Like Toy Story 3 should have been the end of Toy Story.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about this movie. I love Rick Moranis, but this was a franchise that really, I think they just needed to let it lie. And also, I've got to be honest with you. This is something that's a little bit harder for me to even want to revisit because of one of the actors who's in it. And
I'm going to get to that in a second here, Kyle. So I got you. So I found this at a thrift store, and I'm like, I've never seen this one. I liked the first film. I don't remember the second one that well, but I love Rick Moranis, so I wanted to eventually see it. And then I found out it was part of 1996, and it was originally, of course, going to be a theatrical release, but they made it to a television movie instead. And I have this thing now where I actually recently purchased a Blu-ray portable player because I had just the DVD one, but I wanted one that played Blu-rays. And I actually keep it in my car because sometimes, in order to save time, if I only have it on DVD and not streaming somewhere, during lunch, I'll pop out my little portable player and play it while I'm eating lunch in my car. And that's what I did with this movie. I got to tell you, I actually did enjoy this movie for reasons. And what I liked about it was the gimmicks that they used in this film when the parents were shrunk down. There's a very funny scene where they have to get from their son's dresser drawer down to the floor, and the kid had set up his Hot Wheel track. And it was one of those Hot Wheel tracks that had the loop, but it also had those little things where, like, when the car goes through it, it shoots it faster out through the next part of the track. And so they get in this car that looks like a shark, basically, and it's a Hot Wheels. and they all 4 of them get in it and they go through it. It was very funny. And they did a couple other funny things too. And there's a really funny thing where the kid says, "No, Mom, don't kill the daddy long leg spider because it eats ticks and other things that are bad for us. So it's a good spider to have around." And that comes full circle later when the mom meets up with the daddy long legs that's stuck in some type of goo, and they help the spider, and the spider like helps them get up the wall. It's very, very funny. But the weird thing about this though is Allison Mack is, of course, the young daughter in this, who ends up throwing a party while the kids think the parents are away, and some shenanigans start to happen. But something that doesn't really age well in this movie is involving a scene with Allison Mack, and then the younger brother says, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, we're getting ready for a party. Would you help?" And the little kid goes, "I don't want to be your slave." And then the kid realizes later that one of the friends that Allison Mack's bringing over that he has a crush on, which is the Mila Kunis character. Then the brother and his son go up to him going, "We'll be your slaves."
Yeah. Does not age well under circumstances.
It does not age well. Other than that, though, I actually found it kind of funny and enjoyable. And I just watched Stuart Pankin, who plays the friend, the kind of like the overweight guy. I watched the Dirt Bike Kid for the first time. I'd never seen that movie before.
Okay.
With the magical bike, and Stuart Pankin plays like the evil land developer in that too. He's like one of those character actors you've seen in a lot of stuff. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and wrap things up. All right, this is March 1996, Time Warp. Final thoughts on this month, Lacey, of March.
I think that with Down Periscope, Sergeant Bilko, The Birdcage, those are 3 fantastic movies, and I definitely enjoyed Executive Decision more now than I did back then. I think this was a solid month. I really should have watched The Right Man of the Year, but I didn't. So, yeah.
Okay.
I could go without, Diabolique and Up Close and Personal, but the funny stuff this month was really funny.
Yeah, Kyle, your thoughts? Good call, by the way, Lacey. Yeah,
there's some very good films in this month, but 96 kind of is playing a little weird for us. I think January and February were actually better than March, which is usually the other way around. And considering what we're looking at coming ahead in April, which is a lot of mess with your head type of things. It's interesting to see how 96 is playing out with this particular thing in movies. You got some great comedy classics in here, and you got a lot of, I think, movies that did really good on DVD in rental, or kind of felt like more of that direct to DVD thing, but solid movies. It's just a weird month, and it's kind of one of the weird things about 96 is that there's some months in 96 which are normally like a fairly big movie month these days, and they're just a little off. And March kind of felt like that for me, especially considering some of the stuff we talked about in the last Time Warp that came out in February, which were legitimately big films.
Yeah. This month was a surprise for me. A wonderful surprise, outweighed, some of the stuff that wasn't good. First of all, with Down Periscope, I wish I'd seen that movie sooner. Lacey, watch Sabotage. You guys watch Sabotage. It's on Tubi for free. I highly recommend it. And of course, Erase the Sun, Sergeant Bilko. Really, really fun films there. God, Sergeant Bilko, that movie was funny. Really enjoyed that. So yeah, I like that this month of March had some surprises for me personally. Movies I hadn't heard of or just never got around to seeing, and I'm glad that I did because of this podcast. So, yeah. All right, guys. Well, next, of course, we have April of 1996. Kyle mentioned there's some mess with your head movies. Yeah, there might be a few here. We'll get into that. We have, of course, a really cool actioneer in a classroom, The Substitute. We have The Truth About Cats and Dogs. We have Primal Fear, the Ed Norton banger movie. And then, of course, we have Fear with Reese Witherspoon and Mark Wahlberg. We had Mulholland Falls, Mystery Science Theater 3000, the movie. We also have Mrs. Winterbourne, The Quest, the other Van Damme film. We got some interesting ones coming up too, and a bunch of TV as well that we will get to. Yes, Kyle.
I think for that particular podcast, I'm just going to take some brain candy and hang out in a particular laboratory that we get introduced to in that month on the Cartoon Network.
Again, if you are watching the YouTube channel, please hit our QR code. We appreciate that. Please support us there at our website with all of our wonderful podcasts, including Time Warp. We are on the Fandom Podcast Network, of course. We are on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, and X. Kyle, how can we get a hold of you?
You can find me all over the Fandom Podcast Network Facebook pages. Look for Kyle Wagner. You can find me on Twitter and on Blue Sky at AKyleW, and you can find me on Instagram and Threads at AKyleFandom.
I forgot to mention I'm also on Letterboxd at Spartan_Phoenix. And Lacey, that's where we can follow you, correct?
Yes, I'm on Letterboxd, and I am on.
Letterboxd.
Yeah,
Letterboxd. You're on Letterboxd.
Discord. That's the other one I keep forgetting.
Discord at Lacey Pants. There you
That's
go.
me.
All right. Also, head on over to TeePublic, our Fandom Podcast Network store we got up there. I've got my cool Time Warp t-shirt. Love these t-shirts. And we got a lot of other cool logos of our other podcast under the Fandom Podcast Network umbrella, all kinds of different apparel. Make sure you check those out. This is Time Warp, the Fandom Flashback Show. You, of course, have been listening to Time Warp 1996 March. Lacey, as always, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate you. Kyle, my brother from another, thank you. Appreciate you. And
yeah, I made it past 28 minutes on this podcast. I'm happy.
That's a good thing. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us here for Time Warp 1996 March. Join us again next month for April. We will see you guys next time. Please enjoy your movie watching. And until next time, we will see you back in time.